Wonderful morning, excellent afternoon, and magnificent evening. This is Carla from Rehan Allahwala's World of Connections. And here today, I am here to speak to S Nitin. I don't really know his last name, but he'll tell us that. And we're going to talk about his peace walk that he has been doing for the last 6 years, not only in India and Pakistan, but throughout the world, including the US and Africa countries. And it's really very, very cool. Having said that, I want to remind you that this show, like all of my shows, is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Nitin, please introduce yourself.
Jai Jagat Clara. So my name is S Nitin. So you just asked what is my surname? So I changed my surname. It was surrounding, now it's only S. As in India, to have a surname is kind of discriminating term, as there is a casteism. So I just dropped down my surname. So I'm 31 year old, an engineer and Gandhi peace walker. And the last 6 years, I'm walking across the globe in 47 countries. Recently, I just back to India from Pakistan, and been walking and cycling around 40,000 kilometers in all part of the world. Just I miss Australia and some part of this New Zealand and all this part, but in Asia and in America, Central America, North America, South America, and Africa, Europe. And the basic idea behind the journey was to celebrate 150 years the life and message of Mahatma Gandhi. So to spread the idea of truth and non-violence, that was one of the interesting thing about this journey. And at the same time, to understand exactly who we human beings are. So that was also my inspiration. It was started at the age of 17, that I got inspiration from Gautama the Buddha to understand who exactly we are. And the search for truth is still on. And at the same time, to share this journey of non-violence with young people. As you know that Gandhiji fought against the British to give India's independence, and the Pakistan and the Bangladesh. And that was with a non-violent, without weapon. And that's never happened in human history. That such a massive scale, the human being fought with non-violence. So that is a very inspiring thing for the world. And then when I walked and cycled across the globe, I seen the countries that transformed because of the non-violence idea of Gandhiji. Many people across the globe got inspiration, and what we see in South Africa, the Nelson Mandela; in America, Martin Luther King; Aung San Suu Kyi in Myanmar; Dalai Lama is there in Tibet, and right now he's in India. But yeah, everywhere you go, you see Gandhiji, his books across the globe. You can see any library across the globe will see Gandhiji's book. More than 17 countries has Gandhiji's statue. I don't see any politician has the statues of Gandhiji across, like any politician in any world, like in Mao's or in Washington DC. No one has a statue in different part of the world. Gandhiji does have. So I think so. He changed last 6-7 decades, and it's been a peaceful world. Although we need to do a lot to fight against the injustice, inequality, and for peace. Yes, Claire.
Um, I understand your inspiration to do it, but why did you decide to walk instead of maybe taking a plane and less energy?
I think the walking, I think so, has a great tradition in India. As I born in this land, if you go in the past, you see a lot of saints like Gautama the Buddha. He preached his idea of non-violence or compassion through walk. Mahavir Jaina. He preached his idea of non-violence through walking. And we know Bhaviji. He walked around 79,000 kilometers across the India for 14 years to get a donation of land. Like he asked people to donate me land, so he got around 40 like 4 millions of acres from the rich people, and he redistributed it to poor people. So walking, I think, is one of the transformative action for human being. Like for myself, it was one of the transformation action to understand and observe the reality of this on the earth, and at the same time, it connect the walking connect people. It connect with the land. It helped to connect with the air. It connect to the animals. So it's very transformative action for human being, and that's why I choose to be on this path. Because when I don't have money, I'll go and ask anyone to offer me some place, and that's how this journey was. I go without money. So my journey for 5 6 years is supported by people across the globe. So whenever I walk, I can stop and talk with anyone, and that helped me to connect with people. Also, when I if I go by plane, no one will ask like why you like what you're doing here. But when I walk, people ask like what exactly are you doing here? Are you crazy to walk like this? So then walking help us like it's help us in so many any dimension. It's helped me so many different way, and it's very transformative for myself. And at the same time, it helped me to connect people, and that's the reason I choose to be walk.
Okay. Um, can you tell us some stories or a story that has happened when you made a connection from with walking? And
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
can you tell us this wonderful story that about a connection made because you were walking instead of using a car or a plane or a train?
So like there was like a story in Serbia. Like we were I was with a Buddhist monk, so he's a very compassionate Buddhist monk from Japan, and we were walking in Serbia in the cold weather. So one day he was like sleeping beside a football stadium, and then in the middle of night there was a stone that hit on my tent, and the next one hit on the cheek of the Buddhist monk. So we got a shock, like what's happened. So when these teenager boys who throw the stone, they came to us, and we know that like they told us that we thought you are like a refugee or you're going to steal something from here. So we feel like you are a thief. Then we show them a news about our journey, and the next time, like the next day, I we lose hope because that was very shocking night for us. And the next day we start walking, and then there was one lady around 75 to 80-year old. She feels something and she starts cycling to catch us, and she met us, and she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "We are doing a peace march. We are celebrating life of Gandhiji and preaching non-violence." And she said, "Wow, you're walking." I said, "Yeah, we are walking." So he gave us some fruits, and at the same time, she was start crying. So like you're doing such a great work for humanity. It's a very great action. And she invited us to her home because it was a night time again, and we don't know where we're going to stay. And such a beautiful lady, she come, and her name was like Nada. Nada in English, like it's a Serbian name. It's called Hope. So like the one day we got like hit by a stone, and the next day we got such a great gesture of love from such a wonderful lady, and her name was like Nada. So like we also like got inspiration, like no, we are on the right path. Also, there's like so many stories while walking, like in Africa walking, people thought like we are selling something because Buddhist monk used to chant Namyo Renge Kyo and beating a drum, and African people they thought like we are selling something. So they used to like stop us. They say stop, stop, stop. They were like used to run from their farm, and they come to the road and they ask like, "What you are selling?" And we said, "No, we are not selling something, but we are preaching a peace." And they say, "Oh, wonderful! So please come to our home." let's have some breakfast or lunch or dinner. So there was like everyday story. Like we were like almost without money, and the people come and to stop us and offering us the food. And many people change. Sometimes people join us too. They walk with us some distance. Dogs can walk with us. The cats join us sometimes. So yeah, you enjoy a lot. And also I walk in Andes mountain in Peru, and that was very transformative walk for me. As I was walking, like there was nothing, no animal, no people at all. And it was like only me and the nature. And the like in human society we are like restricted by these societal norms, like how to talk, what to wear, how to walk. So there was nothing. There's absolute freedom, like to act in that environment. And for last 2 days I was walking in that Andy mountains. And such a thought, one thought income that come into my mind. And it was very shocking. Also, it's very difficult to like express that thought process. The thought process was like I was nothing. And I was nothing, and I see whole universe as a one. And then this difficulties come in the mind. And the fear of there was a fear that how I'm going to be uh, communicate with human being with this thought process, because that was very heavy for me. So that gave me wonderful what do you call experience, that human mind has a great potential and a lot of possibilities. We always restrict ourselves, but there is infinite possibilities. And I think so that came through a walk. I become vegetarian because I connect with a plant and animal, and that I decided to become a vegetarian as to have less violence against the animals. There's so many changes happen with me. Claire.
That's wonderful. You mean you were eating meat until you began walking?
Yeah, like in Japan, I was a meat eater because I decided to eat meat because we give a logical reasoning, like we give a logical answer that okay, if you do that, you'll feel good, or it's punya and papa in India. So I think so. It's not about that. I think so. It's about how we can be a non-violent, because we come through that this animalistic behavior from last millions of maybe hundreds of years, hundreds and thousands of years. But I think so this is a time, this is a very beautiful time in human history, that we can take care of animals, as we are very powerful on this earth. And we have all the resources in our control. So if you play a very devil role in this part of the world, there will be a disaster with biodiversities, the animals and the plant at the same time. So I think so it's very important to be a non-violent and take some action with that.
I agree with you totally. What I'm an animal lover. I have owned pets a good deal of my life. What made you change from eating animals to not eating animals? I understand that when you're walking, you get close and intimate, but can you kind of tell us the an experience that made you think, hey, these animals are really part of me. I don't want to eat them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's also emotional thing that the animals has emotions. And when you kill them or do harm them, they feel this pain and suffering. This is the one prospect I can see. The other one, like uh, for me, the most important thing, like I see spirituality in a scientific term. And what I see, I call my definition is like somo uno somos. That means we are the one. As we see, the whole universe is made up of this energy. and all this energy is interconnected. The problem with human being is that we are so much concerned about only human feelings and human society. We can't see beyond our, like especially in India and Pakistan, that the population is so high. It's very difficult to see beyond the human society, and that's where the problems happen. So how we can see the universe as a one, and when we see that, it's our then become our duty that how we can be a more non-violent against each and everything. It's not just animals, I can say. It's about all the things, what you eat, where you live, how much things you utilize in your life. Like that's what Gandhiji's values are. Like Gandhi is still relevant because using, like he built a house with a mud, and a very small house for himself. He was using with only one cloth, eating very little, uh, walking most of the time, not using the car. So this is one of the way to minimize our carbon footprints, because this is the one of the biggest concerns we're going to face. That one of the biggest challenge we have is like a climate change, and in that climate change, the carbon footprints is very important. And to remove that carbon footprints, we have to be very non-violent. And then it goes with animals, because this is one of the way, like having a lot of cows, and to growing a lot of cows it needs a lot of water, a lot of energy, a lot of resources, and at the same time it's emit a lot of methane gas. So uh, like practically we cannot afford this. So we have to have develop a new way of thinking and a new way of like way of life. And I think so that's a non-violent. It go with animals, with the resources, and it's like whole aspect of your life.
Was there one animal or one communication or interaction with an animal that kind of sparked you to understand this more clearly?
um I'm not so like communication with only this animal, because I see like all the atoms are the conscious, like on this planet. Every part of this earth or the universe is aware about. I don't know about awareness, but they are consciousness. Like when I see Himalayas, a small part of like small molecules or small dust from the Himalayas, it take thousands of years to get separate out of the stones, and that it flow to the rivers, to the Ganges, and this immerse to the like in the land, and then some plant grow from that land, and a small particle it become part of this plant, and then human being eat that part, and this become our body part. So this part is already defined, like it's already defined that this going to be part of our life. So I think so it's whole journey. It's very slow, because as human being we used to be things, we s- we are like made up to see things moving all the time, but it's very slow process. We don't see the success of it.
But what was it that made you decide I want to stop eating animals? Was there some experience you had when you were walking, maybe with a dog or a cat, that made you realize, hey, this is a real being with a real soul and a real and part of me also?
Yeah, so I think the last one is the really see that this is a part of me, that I can relate, because I see like while walking there in Japan, it was so peaceful, and I can observe the things very clearly. So I see the animals, the plant, and the water. It's just part of us. It's no different. So that was a like triggering point. Like, okay, yeah, this is the thing that I want to do, and this is the point I can be a vegetarian. And then I become vegan, and I am still practicing. And when I going to settle down, I'll start again vegan, because I stop it and then again I start it. So it's very challenging thing. So I cannot say like very emotionally. I'll say mostly like how to become a non-violent, a minimum, like how to practice a non-violent, so that things cannot get hurt.
When you say nonviolent, can you define it for us a little more clearly?
So non-violent is just like non-harming. But I don't see like just non-harming. I'll see love, compassion, and non-violence. We differentiate it, but I don't think so. They are very much different. They are interrelated. So without love and compassion, there is no non-violence. Without non-violence, like there is no love. So these three things are interconnected. So we can say love also and compassion also as a non-violence thing. So to see everything with a compassionate mind, I can say it's a non-violent action. So non-violence is just not about animals and plants. It also with your mind, and how you think with your mind, how you talk, and how you act. Three things in harmony, and that's I think so. This is a it's very important aspect of non-violence. These three things should be in harmony. If you are thinking about something about bad will or hatred about someone, this is a some kind of violence. If you're talking violently with someone, this is also a violence. And then action, everyone know, like physical action, that's some, if something harm because of your action, that's also non-violence.
Would you consider, when we're talking about non-violence, would you consider there's a bug on your bed? Would you catch that bug, or would you take that bug and smack it with a book?
To be on the stage is very difficult, because a human being, one of the difficulties, like we are not that much aware about the things we are living. So like in Jainism, they use a mask for to cover their mouth and nose, so that a small microorganism cannot die because of their talk or when they inhale, or while washing the hands. They're monks, they don't take showers. So I think it's very extreme level of non-violence, and I think so it's very difficult to practice that kind of. I think so we have to take a medium path, middle path. That's what Buddhism says. And so killing a bug, I think so it's depend on my state of mind, how much aware I am, how much conscious I am. So if I'm like very much conscious and aware about the things around by me, I'll become a more non-violent. And when I'm not aware and something agitation is going on in your mind, or something fight is going on in my mind, in that case, this is I can call unconscious mind. And in that conscious mind, the things happen. So there's some mosquitoes, so we just like natural instinct, we just like slap in our head or somewhere where the mosquito is biting. So it's we are harming the animal, but it's an unconscious mind. So for that, I think so we need to be practice a non-violent. But as I say, like it's very difficult to define like uh, what I going to do, because it's depend on my state of mind. So if you are killing something unconsciously, I think so it's okay, like small bugs or something. For that, I think so we need to raise our human consciousness. It is not good to kill someone, but for that you have to be go to next stage of mind.
Okay. Sorry, I kind of got spaced out there for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about walking,
Mm-hmm.
do you walk in silence, or do you walk with others and you're constantly talking, or are you singing? Are you doing something specific during your walks?
So I did many different techniques, and the first thing I was did that I was without talking. Usually I don't talk in the walks with no chit chat with the people. I think the silent walk is one of the best walk. The other thing I did was chanting. I chant Namyoho Renge Kyo, and it is a Nichiren mantras. The Nichiren is one of the saint Buddhist monk from Japan, over 1,000 years, and he gave this mantra Namyoho Renge Kyo. So I walked in Japan with a Buddhist monk for 2 months, 1 month, and that's where I got to know about this mantra, and it was very a powerful mantra. It brings you through our awareness very fast. But at the same time, I found I'm a little bit aggressive and arrogant after talking very loudly. So then I dropped that. So then I do like a vipassana meditation while walking. So I try to connect with my body, with my foots. When I put my steps ahead, I feel the sensation on my feet. So that helped me to become more aware about myself and about my body, and it helped me to connect with the universe. So this technique usually I use, the vipassana.
Did you create these techniques, or did someone say, when you're walking, chant this or walk in silence or whatever?
So I think so. No one tell me this, but it come through my personal experience. I try different ways. Like when my mind is so much agitation, like there is so many fight going on inside my mind. Then I do chanting. That it helped me to go back to a little bit settle mind, a little bit stable mind, and then I do vipassana afterwards. So it's a depend on like which state I am in. So I think so through this experience, because you walk like 8 to 10 hours a day, and there's a lot of learning while walking. So you do different experiment with your mind and with your body, with a different technique. So throughout like through these 6 years, I experiment, and these things come out.
And have you been walking with the same people? I know that you walk with Yogesh, Matura, and maybe someone else. I'm not
Jalandhar.
sure. Have you been walking with them the whole 6 years?
So no, like I walk alone like 4 years, around 3.5 years, and then I have one friend from India. He rode a bicycle. He ride a bicycle with me in India, Thailand, and Cambodia. Then in Japan, I walk with a Buddhist monk, and then afterward in South Africa, I decided to walk with a lot of people. So Yogesh Bhai, Yogesh Mathuria, who we call Vishwamitra Yogesh, he joined me in South Africa, Jalandhar Bhai, and then Kanshin Niketa Shoni from Japan, and three, four guys like my friend Rushikesh. So we like 7, 8 people walked together in South Africa, and that was like 1,400 kilometers, following the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela in South Africa, and that was a huge walk. So it took us 2 months to go from Johannesburg to the birthplace of Nelson Mandela in Moezo. So we walked there in South Africa, and then this year we walked together in Pakistan. So we did a 24-day journey in Pakistan, and it was very powerful journey in Pakistan, as we meet amazing people like Rehan Bhai. We met there in Karachi,
Yeah.
and he supported us a lot, and that's how we connected together. So yeah, there was a amazing journey happening recently in Pakistan, because that's I born in India, so it's very important as to have peace between India and Pakistan. And I think so it was my plus point that I born in here, so I could do something between India and Pakistan. And yeah, it was meet amazing people, and that's what I'm doing right now, sharing this lovely story with Indian here, and to at least we can minimize the hatred between people. So let's I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, this is our duty to spread a love, and that's one of the way we can reach toward the peace.
It's interesting because violence comes from the mind when we're restricting ourselves. But if we only allowed ourselves to open up and realize that we have everything inside of us, then the violence would stop. How do you think we can teach people to become more aware of this?
So like last thousands of years, like we're trying to have different techniques, and we'll see, like if I go to South America, they have this ayahuasca and some kind of plant-based medicine that help us to raise our human consciousness. In Africa, I see drums that help us, like the music help us to bring us consciousness. Like in Tibet, they have gongs, and in India, we do like vipassana and meditation, yoga, dance, sports. So there are so many ways to connect with ourselves to become aware. And the Buddha bring this vipassana meditation for like more than there's like 2,500 years. So, but still, I think so. The awareness is not that high. What I see across the globe. So I think so. We need to find a different way. So I found not I didn't found, but I feel that the technology can help us a lot in this human consciousness, as it has a potential, huge potential. We are in one of the finest and very beautiful time in human history, as that the machine and the artificial intelligence can raise human consciousness. It can give us a sense of connecting with our body. So I am very pretty much hopeful about the technology, and I want to work in that field as well, to how we can connect with our body through this technology. So yeah, I'm like going off track, because there are different techniques and very easy techniques, like to do meditation or walk or run or cycle. These are things are there, but I feel that to go deep in your mind, technology can help us much better, and
Why
it
do
can
you,
help us to understand us much better.
why do you think technology is so important?
Like, so what do we see in human history? uh See, Buddha was there for 2005, 2,000 years, more than 2,000 years. And there are so many spiritual leaders right now across the globe, but how many people are aware? Very few.
Yeah.
So there is a problem, because this is a subjective experience, that it's an individual experience. And uh, and also we try to impose that, okay, this is the only way. For thousands of years we seem like, okay, this is the only way to connect with our body. So I think so we can go beyond these techniques and technology, because technology, like, to be aware, like if you put some PA or some personal assistant with us, that reminding us, like, okay, we have to be aware. He gives some water to us or some good food to us, but it's a human being, and there is an error in human beings. The technology can be like the computers can run 24 by 7. He don't get tired. He's not a bias. Human beings are biased, and there is a big problem with us. Like, we are biases with so many things, so many environment surround us. But the computer cannot be a bias. Like, it can be if you add this kind of programs, but it don't have feelings so far. It don't have his feelings. So if you give a blank state of mind to him, or if you don't give him biases, then he can act very precisely. And also our body is a physical being. We forget that, because in spirituality we always talk about mind, but I think the body at the same time is very important, because what we eat, our thoughts working, like, it bring some kind of emotions. Like if you eat very spicy food, we get burning sensations in our body. So there is a sensations all across our body, and it's a physical entity. It's a chemical reactions. So the physical chemical reactions can be analyzed and can be controlled through outer things. And I think so the machines can help us in that field, and it can make some changes that can help us. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me. Is there any short few words that you can share with our audience that you want them to take away from this interview?
I think so. Each and individual being uh, should find his own way how to proceed in his life, not to just follow the old story. As there are so many stories, like story of religion, story of nationalism, story of society, story of family. So we are connected with that story, and I think so. The story, uh, just for this time, I don't think so. It can lead us to a very good path. There are some good stories, but still the stories are story. There's not a reality. So we always try to go toward a reality, and that's absolute truth that we are seeking for more thousands of years. So take to do different experiment and to find your own story. I think that's will be my suggestions and
Thank you.
recommendation. Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking with me tonight. I want to thank the audience for being here and the Institute of Peace for sponsoring this conversation. And with that, I want to remind you that the Institute of Peace sponsors all these conversations. And one conversation at a time, we are hoping, not hoping, the dream is to bring peace to the world. And with that, can we wave goodbye? Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.